All right. Can you hear me out of your speakers? Out of your not your phone speaker, your like your your computer speaker. Okay, they can hear me. All right, let's start this one. All right. Hey, how's it going, everybody? Sorry about that. This webinar wasn't as easy to set up as I thought it would be. All right, how's everybody doing? Let's get to know everybody a little bit. I'm waiting for a little bit. We're supposed to start at 3 o'clock. There was a couple issues with the webinar, but we're gonna wait it out. Get some more people in here. Everyone should be starting soon. So we'll wait a couple more minutes to get everybody in here, and then we're gonna get started. If you're in the chat right now, tell me where you're coming from, where you're signed in from, and how you heard about the webinar. Should be ready to go in a couple minutes. Let's go. Let's give everybody about 5 more minutes. 5 more minutes to get in here, and we'll be all good to go. At work, from Twitter, Canada. Heard about it on Twitter. That's pretty cool. UK, Twitter, both. Nice. You guys know I'm actually Canadian? Does anybody know that? I live in California now, but I'm actually Canadian. We got somebody from Nigeria. Smart move. Yeah, it's much warmer here than it is up in Canada, up in Calgary. I was freezing my ass off. Twin Cities. I've been to Twin. No, I actually haven't been to Twin Cities before. I've been near Twin Cities though. All right, we're getting closer and closer. Ontario's too cold. Yeah, Ontario's freezing. That's what I've heard. I was in Ontario briefly for a couple of months, and then we left. Not a fan. Not a fan at all. You gotta stay where it's warm all the time. Can you guys? Are you guys seeing the slide? It should say the simple way to make your first $100,000 online in e-commerce. Is that what you guys are seeing? Yeah. Okay. Great. Cool. Little Rock. I've actually been to Arkansas. I went there last year. It was a lot of fun. I love Arkansas. Probably go back again. New Mexico. I've been in New Mexico too. I was in Bentonville. Walmart's headquarters, man. Had some pretty big meetings there. If you want to learn more about Amazon, I'll tell you to start learning more about Walmart as well. Walmart's going to be a pretty big game player in this space. They're going to be making a lot of money. Oh, nice. Arkansas is not as bad as I thought it would be. Everybody was really nice. Everybody was really sweet. Southern hospitality and manners. That doesn't really exist in California. Okay, let's see. We got a couple more minutes, everybody. 2 minutes. I appreciate your patience. We'll be there soon. Everybody's going to be showing up in a little bit. We'll get some more and more people coming in. I just keep getting pinged that more people are signing up. More people are getting the links. Everything got a little kind of messed up, and I apologize for that. I was using this. I had one software plan that I was going to use for the webinar, and then that one didn't work last minute, so I had to switch it up. And then I had more signups than I realized. This webinar was originally supposed to be 50 people, but so many people signed up that I had to bump it up to 2 tiers because I had about 200 people sign up. So we'll see what happens. We'll see where we go. So almost there. A couple more minutes and we'll get started. A couple more minutes, we'll be good to go. Give me 1 second. I'm gonna do some. It might bump me off real quick. If it does, don't worry. Just stay on. I'll be right back. I'm just waiting on. I'm just trying to figure something out real quick to make sure everybody can get the right link and everyone's got the right. Everyone's got the right link and everyone's getting pushed to the right webinar. Real quick. I'll be right back. All right, everybody, I'm back. Sorry about that. All right, just a couple more minutes. We're going to wait. Got some people emailing me. They're saying they can't find the link. I'm helping them out right now. They should be in here pretty soon. We'll be good to go in just a couple minutes. Appreciate everybody's patience. If you just got here, drop a little note in the chat and tell us where you're from. If you're coming in just now, a couple people mentioned where they were from. Tell us where you guys are from. I want to know where everyone's coming in from. What's happening? Let's see. Let's see what is. Let's see where everybody's coming from. What everybody wants to know. No. UK. Same people. Hold on. Chicago. Bosnia. Glenn, how's it going, Glenn? What's going on? Stu, any sound? Can you hear me now, Stu? Can everybody hear me real quick? New York State, California, San Diego. Everybody can hear me? Good. Stu, it might be something with your speakers, man. Let's see. Turn on your mic and camera. You'll be able to hear. Oh, yeah, there you go. Florida. I was in Florida last year. It's very humid. Appreciate everybody. Everybody in here. Everyone's excited. New York State. Nice time of year. Yeah, it was nice. And I watched the Super Bowl there last year. It was raining buckets. And then it got it was really warm. Every time it rains in California, it's cold. Wasn't used to that. Didn't know what to do with myself. UK, London. Nice. There's a lot of people from the UK here. There's a couple people from Nigeria here. All right, we got a couple more people showing up. I'm checking Twitter real quick, guys. I appreciate your patience. There's this whole thing's a little wonky. So I'm just trying to make sure everything is good to go, and everybody that was interested in the webinar is able to watch the webinar. Appreciate everybody's patience. You're gonna have a lot of fun with this. I'm gonna go through the top 3 secrets, the main secrets, everything I know that helped me get from where I was to where I am. We're gonna go through it. It's gonna be a great time. Everybody's gonna have a lot of fun. Oh, more people showing up. Winston-Salem, Sacramento, Lagos, Nigeria. Nice. Isn't Winston where they had the Winston-Salem's where they had the witch trials? Or am I totally off on that? I'm just sounding ignorant. Some place called Salem where they had the witch trials, right? No, that's not it. All right, my bad. All right, we got a couple more signups. People coming in soon. Salem, Massachusetts. Damn, I was way off. All right. Is there any way we can get a replay of this? Glenn asked that question. Yeah. There's going to be a replay available for a couple days. So if you guys can't stay all the way through, or if you need to watch it later, there's a couple other people that emailed me. There's going to be a replay available for a little bit. I'm going to post it on a secret link it'll be hosted on YouTube. It'll be a secret link, so you can only access it if you have the link. So I will have that emailed to you. So yeah, don't worry about that. If you can't stay through the whole thing, if you're having issues with your computer, your phone, whatever it is that you're watching on, I'll have all of this available for at least a couple days after I do it. So probably like a week, maybe less than that, at least until the end of the weekend. So yeah, no worries there. There will be a replay available. All right, it is 3:05. I think anybody else that comes in, they can just hop in and they'll be good. Don't need to worry so much about them. Let's see if anyone else has any questions, any other emails. I really appreciate the patience, guys. It's my first time hosting a webinar, so apologize for the technical difficulties and little mess ups, but we will be ready to go very, very soon. Let's see. Almost ready. Okay. All right. It looks like most people are here now. Let's see. 45, 46. There's a couple people trickling in. Let's see. Almost. Okay. All right. Who's ready to get started? You guys ready? Yes. There we go. I was waiting for someone to say something. You guys were sitting quiet for a minute. All right. Thanks for being so patient, guy. Let's get this bread. All right, we're gonna get started. People are gonna come in. Do me a favor, actually. So I'm running this by myself. I don't have an assistant here with me. If somebody comes in and starts asking a question or anything like that, and you're here from the beginning, just give them a quick response. Obviously, I want you to pay attention to the webinar. But if somebody comes in a little bit late, just be nice, help them out. And other than that, let's get started. So let's do this. I'm sure most of you guys find me from Twitter. This is where I was promoting most of this. And this webinar is a quick and simple, maybe not quick, but it's a simple guide on how to make your first 100K online in e-commerce without any experience. I'm going to show you guys the exact story on how I did it, how I do it on a regular basis now, and I'm going to teach you guys the main secrets that I use to be successful in e-commerce. Cool. Now, right off the bat, I'm going to make you a very bold promise, okay? So my promise is that by the end of this webinar, I'll prove that anyone can be successful on Amazon, even if they're a complete beginner. So I don't care if you've never sold on Amazon before, never done Shopify. I don't care if you know how to sell drop shipping or anything like that. If you're a complete beginner, even if you just found out today what a computer is and you're just watching this thing and you have no clue what exactly is going on, but you're kind of into it, I can take you and show you that you can be a complete pro on Amazon within a couple months. And I'm going to show you exactly how to do that on this webinar. The whole point of this, the reason I believe this so much is because when I started, I didn't know anything. And I mean, I literally didn't know anything. And I'll go into more detail about that a little bit later. But that's my promise. By the end of this webinar, I'll prove that anyone can be successful on Amazon, even if they're a complete beginner and have absolutely no clue how to do any of this stuff right now. Now, the other thing I want to promise you, or the other thing I want to give you is if you stay until the end, one of the biggest issues I've seen when it comes to being successful in e-commerce is people always ask me more often than not, more often than I care to answer. But the number one question I get is I don't know where to find products. I don't know what products to find. How do I find a good product? How do I find a good niche? How do I do this? How do I do that? Products, right? That's what I get more often than anything else. So you stay until the end of this webinar. What I'm going to do is show you 2 websites that I use on a regular basis to find very niche products. And when I say niche, I'm talking about something that's probably going to make you laugh. One website's going to be really cool, and you're going to think, wow, this is a great idea. This is a great place to find products. The other website's going to make you laugh, and you're going to think, well, I can't believe people actually buy this stuff. But they do, and you can get so many ideas from it. You're going to, your head's going to spin. So if you stay until the end, I promise to show you those 2 websites that I use on a regular basis. Oh, whoops, that came up again. All right, now, what makes this different? What makes this different is that we're talking about Amazon, and some people understand this, some people don't. But the biggest thing about Amazon is this is a brand new opportunity that's growing very, very well, and it's growing constantly. It's getting bigger and bigger and bigger. Now, when I say it's growing constantly, what that means is on a regular basis, Amazon is constantly reinvesting their money and just getting as big as they possibly can, right? Amazon's constantly growing. They don't have any plans of slowing down, and they don't care about anyone else. They're kind of just plowing through everybody, right? And the other thing too is Amazon is easy mode to start and scale a business. Some of you have tried drop shipping. Some of you have tried Shopify. And when you get on there, you have to figure everything out. You have to do layouts. You have to do the pictures. You have to figure out where to put where to do all of this stuff, right? You don't have to do any of that with Amazon. And I'll go into more detail later. Amazon's basically starting a business on training wheels. They tell you exactly what to do. They tell you exactly what you need. You put it in there, and then you go through and you make a move and you start making money. And the other thing that makes this different is, honestly, how many of you have shopped on Amazon in the last month? In the last 30 days, if you've bought something on Amazon, I want you to write yes in the chat right now. Okay, if you've bought something, if somebody in your household has bought something, write yes in the chat. Right, that's what I want to see. Look at that. Can you guys see the chat? You guys can see the chat, right? Okay. Yeah, there you go. Look, everyone's saying yes. Everybody's saying yes. Look, the yeses are still coming in, right? Nonstop. Everybody's saying yes, 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 yes. Boom. So that's the other thing that makes Amazon very different about all this. Amazon is a place that everybody has shopped at. If I asked you, have you shopped at a Shopify store in the last month? You'd probably say no. You probably don't even know what it. It's a Shopify stores. You don't even know if it is a Shopify store. You might have, but that's the crazy thing, that out of all the people in this webinar, I think there's like 80% of you just answered yes to whether or not you'd shopped in Amazon, and not if you've shopped ever, but if you've shopped in the last 30 days, and you're probably going to shop in the next 30 days. So I'm going to teach you how to 60% of America. Andy, you're giving away secrets, man. I was going to talk about that later. But anyway, this is what makes it different, right? We're talking about a place where everybody goes, where everyone's selling, and how you're going to get a piece of that pie. Now, let's talk about who this is for. Right? Who is this for exactly? This is for anybody who's serious about creating a long-term business for themselves, right? If you're trying to go into business for yourself, you want to be your own boss, you want to have your own freedom, that's who this is for, right? It's not for somebody who is going to sit on their ass and not do anything, okay? This is for people who are action takers, not someone who just sits around and thinks. It's not for people who want to be average or mediocre. It's for people who are tired of average, mediocre, and normal. And it's for people who know that they deserve more and they're willing to put in the work to do more. So if this sounds like you, then great, stick it out. If it doesn't sound like you, then I should tell you right now that it's probably best that you leave. This isn't something that's like, well, I'm going to buy product tomorrow and then be a millionaire next week and then just sit on that. No, this is something that's going to require hard work. It's going to require time. But for a fact that this is what you want to do more than work for somebody else the rest of your life, have to ask for time off, only get 2 weeks off a year or whatever, right? And this is not for people who just sit there and think about doing something but never actually do it. If you're someone who's motivated and driven and ambitious and you take action toward your dreams, that's who this is for. So let's dive in, right? Now, most of you know who I am, but if not, I'm going to go over a quick spiel for you. My name is Assad. Obviously, most of you know that. Now, if you know the video doorbell company Ring, it's the little video doorbell you put on your door, and anytime somebody shows up, you ring the doorbell, or they ring the doorbell, and they will, you can answer it from your phone, right? That's Ring. I started at Ring in 2016. I got there, and the account was, they said, hey, we need you to manage our Amazon account. I got there, I started managing it, and when I got there, they were doing terrible. And in 2016, we did 16 million. People have no sound. You guys might want to, if you have no sound, double check your speakers. You guys should have sound. Everybody else has sound. Yeah, enable your microphone. Thanks, guys. So anyway, I got to Ring in 2016, and on Amazon, I did $16 million that year. And then the next year, I took them to $56 million in 2017, only on Amazon. And then in 2018, what actually happened was Ring was going to do $100 million on Amazon. It was on track to do that. And then Amazon bought the company as a whole. So I don't know if that was because of me. I'd like to think that it was to some extent, but I could be wrong. And then after I left Ring, I went to a startup called Cavo, right? Cavo is a universal remote. It's like a $100 remote, and they needed help with their stuff. So when I got there, here's an interesting thing. Universal remotes cost like $9, $10, $11. I was selling a $100 universal remote, and I got that to the top release in universal remotes. It was the #1 spot within about 6 weeks of launch, and it was doing about 60 grand. It was doing about 30 grand a week within a couple weeks of launching. Now, obviously, it's a big tech company. It's a startup, but that was still a really big win. Now, outside of that, I don't really like calling myself this, but I guess you could say I'm an Amazon whiz. It's something that I didn't realize was nearly as important until I got on Twitter and realized that nobody really knows anything about Amazon. And it's what I've spent the last 4 years of my life doing and focusing on. So that's who I am. That's who the guy is that's talking right now that you're listening to. Now, I want to touch base on something real quick. When I started, I did not when I started, but when I'm sitting here talking to you guys, it sounds like I've done a lot of things right, and I have. I've done quite a few things right. I've done them really well, and I've done a really good job learning how to do all this. But the reason I've done so many things right is because before I did all these things right, I did a lot of things wrong. I did a lot of things very, 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 very wrong. Okay, I made a lot of mistakes. I made a lot of screw ups. I had a lot of trouble. I can't tell you the number of times I almost got fired at Ring because of a mistake that I made. But luckily, I was able to fix everything. And the thing is that people are afraid of mistakes. I'm not afraid of mistakes because you learn more from mistakes than you do from being successful. Right? That's how that works. You learn more when you are successful than or you learn more when you're not successful and you make a mistake and you think, okay, well, how do I change things, and then go from there. So I've done a lot of things right, but I've also done a lot of things wrong, and the wrong things taught me a lot, which is great because you don't have to do these wrong things because I'm going to cover them for you. Right now, I've been doing this for 4 years. When I started, I didn't know anything about Amazon. I had no clue about e-commerce. I had no clue about any of this stuff. So what I did was I knew that there was faster ways to do these things. I didn't want to get rich over 30 or 40 years. I don't like the idea of that. If I can't enjoy anything now, then what's the point, right? So I decided to figure things out for myself, and I knew that there was different ways to get ahead of the curve. So I started by learning the secrets to what really grows business online, right? You hear all these stories about like 20, 30, like 20-year-olds, 24-year-olds, 19-year-olds making 30, 40, 50 grand online. And I was thinking, is that really possible? And if it is, they do it in a short amount of time. How do you do that? So I started learning that, and I started and I kind of stumbled upon Amazon, luckily, and found the easy method of online sales that honestly nobody's really talking about right now. Everybody kind of has their head in drop shipping and whatever else, but nobody's really talking about Amazon. And luckily, this is what I learned several years ago, right? Now, the other thing is that, my method of learning was like I learned the hard way. When I started, I tried and started and failed many different times. Now, quick story on that is when I first started with Amazon, I failed 3 or 4 different times. I bought 3 different types of product, built brands, and they all failed, right? And the reason for this was I didn't know where to start or how to find profitable products. And the whole reason behind that was I was just some kid in college trying to figure this out. I had no clue what I was doing. I had done a little bit of research, but I didn't really know what was going on. And the biggest thing was I didn't really have any direct mentors. I had nobody I could go to one-on-one. I had a mentor for real estate, but that was it. He didn't know anything about the internet. I didn't know anything about the internet, and I was just some kid sitting there trying to figure this out on my own. Excuse me. So I had to learn the hard way on how to build a brand, right? And the hard way is when you don't know anything and you try things and they mess up and they fail, and you try them again and you keep going and you keep trying them over and over and over again until you figure them out. So the whole point of this is I'm going to give you the easy way to save you from all this trouble. Is that like, right? You guys want the easy way so that you don't have to worry about any of this stuff, because that's the whole point. You find people who know what you don't know, and then they teach you how to get things done better than everybody else. And that's why we're here, right? The 3 big secrets that have made me successful on Amazon. Number 1 is the best place to sell your products online faster than ever. You guys already know what that is, obviously. I'm going to tell you why it is, right? And number 2 is the super easy, not easy, the simple brain dead e-com strategy that, anybody can use, even someone who doesn't know anything about Amazon, someone who has no idea what they're doing, what they're talking about. And you can profit from it relatively quick, right? And then lastly, how you can sell your products to millions and millions of people without buying any ads, right? Everywhere else you have to buy ads, you have to pay for all this like data and everything else. You don't have to do that on Amazon, and I'm going to tell you exactly why you don't have to do that. So, secret number 1, the best place to sell your products online faster than ever. Let's talk about that for a second, right? Now, I'm going to tell you my story real quick on how I got here. So, when I was a kid in college, I was broke. I grew up lower middle class, and at one point my family was on welfare. When I was in Canada, my family was on welfare when I was 6 years old. We had no money, we had nothing. When I got to college, my parents said, you want to go to college, you got to pay for it yourself, right? So I took out loans, and here's the dumb part. I had a good amount of money left over from those loans, but I was in my 20s, so I decided to have fun with it instead of saving it or investing it. And the other thing too was when I was growing up, I thought life is black and white. You don't really move up the economic ladder. I thought if you're born broke, you're gonna die broke. If you're born middle class, you die middle class. You don't make more money, you don't change your status, right? Now, over time, I got really frustrated. And what I wanted more than anything was freedom from worry and from stress, right? Freedom from owing people money. I didn't want to have to pay off these loans, and freedom to live someplace nice. Now, I've lived in nice places, I've lived in bad places. The craziest thing was that it wasn't so much like having a big house is what makes an impact. No, it's more so just having the peace. And that's what I realized was that I wanted freedom from worry and from stress more than anything else. And so my biggest challenge in this regard was making money. And so we kind of fast forward back to college. And what was happening was my debt was racking up. I had credit card loans, excuse me, credit cards racking up. I had no internship prospects. I had no retail jobs. I had applied to, I think, honest to God, probably like 50 or 60 jobs in one quarter, and I've gotten one or two offers. And they said, "What do you want to do?" They literally sat me down. I was in the interview, and they said, "What's your long-term goals?" And I said, "Well, I want to be financially independent in 5 years." And they said, "Well, this job isn't for you because we want someone who's going to want to work here for 40 years," which was nuts because why on earth would you do that? And because I was honest with them about my financial goals and my ambitions, they didn't want to hire me. So I was basically sitting there in college, lots of debt, no money. And I had to figure something else out, right? And then I had this really big realization. I was studying international business and marketing at the time. I was basically studying importing. I was studying large-scale importing, excuse me, large-scale importing and understanding how big businesses do it, how small businesses do it, how everybody does it. And then it clicked in my head. I said, what if I tried this, right? I was with a bunch of friends in college. We were all trying to be entrepreneurs. And I thought, well, what if I try this? Because I don't want to learn how to code. I don't want to do any of this other stuff. But maybe I can try building a brand, right? I can be an e-commerce seller too. So let's give it a go, right? So what I did was I made a plan to get there. I learned everything I could about importing. I used all my marketing studies from school. And then I got lucky. I found Startup Bros. Startup Bros are these old school guys who do really well on Amazon. They have a bunch of courses. And so I watched their webinar. And this is one big thing I want to tell you guys. They had a free webinar as well, right? And I watched it and they went through all this stuff. They said, you do this and this and this and this and this. And then afterwards they said, if you're a VIP, feel free to call us if you have more questions. If not, thanks for coming to the webinar. And so I thought, you know what, this is great. I'm going to do all this work. And then when I had questions, I wasn't part of the VIP group, but I called them anyway. And they looked at my sheet and they said, they were actually surprised. They were like, you're not in VIP, but you've done more work than half the people in our VIP group. I was like, yeah, because I really want to figure this out. So they said, all right, you know what? We'll help you out. What we're going to do is we'll give you a scholarship. So they cut the price of their course in half because I had already done most of the work. And then honestly, after that, everything's pretty much history, but I'm going to go through the history. Not long after that was when I started trying new products, selling them on Amazon, and from there building up my success. But I'm going to tell you that a little bit more later. What I want to tell you right now is my internal struggle that kept me from all these things and that I struggled with a lot was fearing that I might fail, right? I thought, what if I fail? I'm not really that smart. Life is black and white. You don't really get rich. You don't get rich. You make a little bit of money. You go to college, you get a nice, decent job with a degree, and then you get married and die. That's what I thought. But I wanted to believe something else. So I thought, all right, I'm going to keep trying. I'm going to keep trying and see if I can figure this thing out. Because like, if somebody else can do it, there should be a reason that there's no reason that I can't do it, right? So I kept telling myself, what if I kept going? What's going to drive me to keep going? If I keep going, I could get out of debt. I could live life on my own terms, right? But if I stop, nothing's going to change. I'm going to be sitting here. Life is going to be the exact same. Life's going to kind of be in the crapper. I'm not going to be happy with myself. And I'll never know anything different than what I have now, right? Everything I did got me to where I was. And if I keep doing it, it's going to keep me where I am. So I decided to keep going and, excuse me, and try things out, try something different. Now, this is my secret to life. You guys can, do your own, come up with your own. But what I think the secret to life is, the beginning for anything is tough. But if you keep going, you realize that you can do anything with hard work. You also start to change your old beliefs. You also start to create positive loops. And you realize that life isn't black and white. You have the power to change your life. And that's what I learned through this experience. If I kept going, the beginning is only the tough part, right? As you keep going, the beginning kind of comes and goes, and then you get better, and then you keep pushing and pushing and pushing, and life becomes easier. It's like you're going up a hill. You're going way up a hill in the beginning. You get to the top, and then you get to run down the bottom half, and you're running down, and it's much easier than climbing up a hill, right? But you have to keep going. You don't get to see the top of the hill and the awesome view and run down or roll down the hill unless you go through the struggle of climbing up the hill first, right? Now, real quick, what I want you guys to do, or what I want to do is give you guys a quick testimonial. Oh no, it's not working. All right, I'm gonna have to skip that. Sorry about that, guys. So I want to just touch base real quick. That was a bad transition, but so all this stuff in terms of like the secret to life and everything like that, right? I decided to keep going and keep pushing and keep trying to grow and find out how I could change things and whatever else. And over time, that proved that I proved to myself that that was possible. As I got samples from China, I posted them on eBay. I posted them on everywhere else. Is anybody else having trouble with echo? Someone's saying there's a lot of echoing going on. Okay, perfect. Thank you. You might want to turn your speakers down a little bit, Henry, if you're having a lot of echo. So you have the power to change your life. And if you keep going, you keep pushing, you'll change your life. And I realized that as I got samples and products coming in for a couple different products, I'd put them on eBay and I'd make some sales, right? These were these little wins that got me to where I needed to go. And then from there, I moved to Amazon. And I realized very quickly that Amazon was a game changer for these big 3 reasons in secret number 1, right? When I was selling on eBay, I was doing decent. And I was selling on Craigslist and it was all right for these samples. But then when I moved to Amazon, that's where everything kind of changed, right? Because what I didn't realize at the time was Amazon's a place with people who are ready to buy. It's a place with free traffic, and it's a place where people go to buy, they get what they want, and then they come back later, right? And I realized this when I had a couple different products up. I had yoga mats, I had compression sleeves, and I put mine up and I got a sale, right? And it was nuts. So I was like, how on earth is this possible? It's actually pretty funny. My first sale off Amazon, I was sitting in class, my phone dings and it says you just sold the product. And I got up and walked out of class. I didn't even finish class that day because I didn't even care. It was only $30 that I had made, but I was so ecstatic I got out of there. So that was one example of what happened. And the whole reason that this was such a big deal for me was I didn't spend anything on ads. I was just sitting there and I got a sale. And then this person that bought literally came back a week later and they bought again. And I was a little confused. I was like, why is this person buying from me twice? And they sent me a message and they said, hey, I love the product and I actually want to buy one for my brother now. And that's when I realized secret number, the third part of the secret, which is that people on Amazon, they go there to shop, right? They're people who spend their time on Amazon, they go to their shop and then they always come back. So that's a huge thing that you got to understand about Amazon. You have repeat customers, you have free traffic, you have people who are ready to buy, right? Now, the other thing that is important that I want to talk to you about is this lady who came and bought something and then wanted to buy another one for her brother. She was coming to shop for yoga mats, right? She wanted to buy yoga mats. She knew what she wanted, so she went someplace that had yoga mats. Now, when you come to sales and you want to be successful in e-commerce, it's more about like the biggest aspect of being successful in sales is to selling to people who want your product. If I try to sell something to somebody who doesn't want my product, I'm going to have a very hard time convincing them to buy. You should never want to convince people to buy your product. You should already go where people are who want to buy what you're looking for. So the other thing that makes Amazon so much easier than other places when it comes to selling is that you go to Amazon and you put your product in front of people who want to buy, right? Like I wasn't putting my yoga mats in front of people who hate yoga and sit around eating potato chips. No, I was putting my yoga mats up for people who are already searching for yoga mats, right? It's the difference between like those sleazy guys in sales in malls who sell cell phone service, right? They just yell at you, and you guys know what I'm talking about? Let me know. If you guys live in the US, you probably dealt with this. Say, yeah, I know what's up. If you know what I'm talking about. You'll be walking in the mall and there's some guy in a little kiosk who jumps over and tries to like pull you over and tell you all this crap about, hey, like sign up for this service, sign up for that service, whatever, right? You guys know what I'm talking about. You're never going to buy from that person, right? You're never ever going to buy from that person. But when you're ready to go and get a cell phone, you'll walk into a Verizon store or an AT&T store and you'll talk to that person. It'll be a smooth, easy process. That's the difference. That's the difference between selling on Amazon versus like, hey, you know what? I'm going to run ads to a website and try to convince people who I think would want my product that they should buy my product. That's not the way to do it. Now, I don't want to bag on Shopify, but I'm going to a little bit just to show you guys the big difference, which is right off the bat, these are some big things you got to understand. Amazon is a plug and play model. You get free traffic, you get easy setup, you don't have any ads, short ship times, and as you get more and more reviews, those reviews basically make sales for you, right? And the best part about Amazon, I think the one thing I love that nobody talks about, you don't have to deal with customers. Happy customers are great. Unhappy customers, those are the worst. Um, and in Shopify, right? The difference is Shopify, you have no traffic. You got to get traffic to your Shopify website, right? And then you have Shopify is pretty useless without apps, which nobody talks about. And most Shopify apps that are good cost a couple bucks a month. Sometimes it costs 10, 20 bucks a month, right? Takes a while to set up. It requires ads. You can't, no one's just going to show up to your Shopify website. Nobody even knows it exists. There's longer ship times, especially if you're drop shipping. There's no long-term benefit because you don't have any reviews building up. You don't have customers who, you don't get a lot of reviews on Shopify the way you get them on Amazon, and you have to deal with angry customers. If you guys, Kafish is saying angry customers are the worst. Yeah, think about that. If you have angry customers, that's like your whole day gone, and then they'll piss off everybody else. They'll tell other people not to buy from you. You just lost a bunch of customers. If someone's pissed off on Amazon, Amazon will just refund them the money, and you don't have to deal with them, right? Now, I'm sure there's some people here who have some doubt, right? You're probably thinking, well, this is great, but there's so much competition, right? Amazon has so much competition. There's millions and millions of sellers. How would I ever compete on Amazon? Here's the thing. I'll be completely honest with you. It doesn't matter because the one thing that most people don't realize about Amazon, there's always more sellers than buyers. That's the economy we live in, right? If you think about it, you probably bought stuff from a bunch of different people, right? You've bought something over and over and over again. If you go somewhere with your friends, like 10 people walking to a restaurant, those are 10 buyers for one restaurant, right? Those are 10 people buying something. If you walk into a store with your buddies and buy something together, that's 10 people, one shop, right? That's the same thing with Amazon. There's always, always, always more sellers. There's always, always, always more buyers than there are sellers because most people don't want to most every single buyer in the world is not going to try to sell something, right? So if you're here and there's maybe like 30 or 40 people in this webinar, right? That's indication in and of itself that, excuse me, of the same thing, right? There's how many thousands and thousands of people in your city, right? But you're over here trying to learn how to sell on Amazon. So that's a big one right off the bat. There's always more buyers than sellers. There's always going to be more people who want to buy something than people who want to sell something. So no, competition does not matter. It really doesn't. It's not nearly as bad as you think it is. Competition matters when you're like really, 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 really big. And even then, I don't think it's that big of a deal. Coke and Pepsi both exist in the same world, right? Do you think they care about competition? Not as much as you would think. They're both billion-dollar companies, right? Now, the other thing is you might be thinking, well, all right, I said that's great, but I'm just a regular person, right? Well, unfortunately, Farshad, his testimonial didn't play. He's the guy from Twitter who's on track to do his first $10,000 month, right? But anyway, doesn't matter because you guys didn't see the video. But Farshad's a regular guy, right? I have another student, Sarah, who's a regular person, right? She's a stay-at-home, or she's not a stay-at-home mom. She's a single mom, 3 kids, who's selling on Amazon, already making a good amount of money, right? And 90% of sellers on Amazon are small people. They're not big companies. Big companies sell on there for sure, but the majority of Amazon sellers are regular, normal people just like you. So that's a big thing to understand. People think, well, I'm just a regular person. I'm a pretty regular guy. So if I can do this, you guys can do this too. There's really nothing special about me, and most people don't realize. People think, well, I don't know how to do this. I don't know how to do that. I'm not very smart. I'm not that smart at all. That's one thing you guys got to understand. If I pulled this off, I think I'd say like 99% of you are much smarter than I am. You'll be able to do much, much better than I did, right? Now you guys know why Amazon's the best place to sell your products fast. There's free traffic. There's 130 million people showing up all the time. There's people showing up who want to who want to buy a product. You're selling sunglasses to people who want to buy sunglasses. Baseball bats to people who want to buy baseball bats. You're not selling baseball bats to people who want to buy, stockings or anything like that. This is why Amazon's the best place to sell online, because there's people there who want the product. They're showing up all the time and they're coming back all the time. Excuse me. I'm going to drink a little bit of water. Excuse me for a minute. Now, secret number 2, right? This is a really good one. It's a fun one. Brain dead strategy that even a beginner with zero knowledge can profit from. What is this exactly? Right? Now, as mentioned before, Amazon's a big plug and play model, right? It's very simple. Amazon doesn't say, hey, here's a page, do whatever you want with it. No, They're very specific. They say, hey, this is where we want the title, this is where we want the bullets, this is where we want the pictures, right? It's so simple that anybody can do it. And the best part about this is it takes you from zero to profit in no time. It takes you from zero to profit very, very, very quickly. And the reason for that, one of the reasons for that, is that Amazon actually tells you what to put and where to put it, right? You can look at what other people are writing, you can emulate it, you can change it up. Amazon says, hey, like you put in your product, you make a listing, Amazon says, okay, based on the listing that you made, this is what we think is gonna work, what's not gonna work. And Amazon wants you to sell. So Amazon literally takes away so much of the guesswork that other platforms leave you to figure out. Now, I'm gonna tell you guys another story about me, right? When I started, I'm still just a regular guy, right? Total noob. My listings were really bad when I first started. When I actually took my first picture, I had yoga mats and I had compression sleeves. My compression sleeve picture looked so bad that when I posted it in a group, I got laughed at by everybody. They were like, this is terrible. How do you even think this is good? I didn't know any better. I didn't know any photographers. I didn't know where I could get pictures taken. I just made something, threw it up there and thought, hey, this looks decent. No, it looked terrible. It looked so bad that I'm actually embarrassed to even think about it. And I'm actually going to try to find a picture and I'll post it on Twitter later for my old listings. But regardless of all of that, I went on there, I did what I had to do, I listened to Amazon, and I made my first sale, right? I made money. I made money with a terrible listing that looked like crap, that nobody cared about, that wasn't optimized at all. And now I'm not saying I made $1 million off of that. I didn't make a lot of money, but I did make some money. And all that proved to me was, hey, I made money with a shit listing. I can make money with a good listing, right? And so that's what I did. I started learning how to make things better and how to do a good job. Now, back to the whole point of Amazon, how simple it is and how easy it is, right? It's e-commerce on training wheels. 99% of sellers are just like you guys, right? They were just like me. They were no different. I was in a group with 200 people, and everybody who had questions and would talk about it, I would realize, like, hey, I'm not very different from any of these people. They all look the same. They don't all look the same. Sorry. They all sound the same. Everybody had the same questions. Everybody had the same concerns. Everybody had the same issues, right? And everybody was doing the same thing and making money on Amazon daily. And it was because part of the reason is Amazon makes it so simple. In fact, I'm willing to bet there's somebody in here. If you've ever sold something on Amazon, I want you to type in Amazon into the chat, because I'm pretty sure there's going to be at least a couple people here who've sold something. I'd be very surprised if they haven't, because people come up to me all the time on Twitter. Boom, there's one, there's two, right? Oh, look at that. Look at how many people. Yeah, there's people in here already selling on Amazon. That should show you guys, right? This is a webinar of maybe 30 or 40 people. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So more than 10% of the people out of a random group of people on this webinar have sold on Amazon before. That's huge. And that should tell you how easy it really is, how simple it really is, how there's just average, everyday people selling on Amazon, right? Now, let's see, how simple is it really? And like I mentioned before, Amazon just tells you we need this, this, and this. You give it to them, you give them what they want, and you start making sales, right? Super, super simple, super easy. You don't have to spend money on ads right away. You don't have to spend money on any of that stuff. Amazon says, this is what we need. These are our guidelines. Follow our guidelines. You'll make money. And then you follow their guidelines. You do what they're saying, and you put your products up, and you start making money. It's pretty much that simple. It's not easy. It is that simple, right? That's how simple Amazon makes it. That's how easy they make it. They make it very easy to understand what it is and how you're supposed to do it. And the crazy thing is, Amazon even tells you, hey, you know what? You have a lot of product. I'm pretty sure you don't want to ship it. Why don't you just send it into our warehouses and we'll take care of all that for you? Nobody else does that. Now, that's the great thing. Imagine having to, imagine making all this money, having all this product, and you don't even have to ship out the product, right? You don't have to run to UPS or USPS 5 times a day to ship a bunch of product out. No, Amazon takes care of all of that for you. They walk you through the process. They make it super, super simple. So even if you are a beginner, you have more time to learn marketing. You have more time to learn how to sell. You have more time to work on other products. Now, I'm sure you have some doubts, as everybody tends to, right? And you're probably thinking, well, hey, you know what? That's not me. I don't know how to write copy. I don't know any good photographers. I don't know how to write this stuff. I don't know how to do this stuff. You know how to make, you know, you're on this webinar, so you know enough to this, like signing up for this webinar, as you guys know, was more complicated than it was supposed to be. But you're here now. So That's a good example of somebody who, of you knowing more than enough to be able to set up an Amazon account, make a first listing, and do a good job, right? If you're here, trust me, you can. This is way less complicated than Amazon, right? And the other thing that I want to point out is you don't really need to learn how to write copy or take photographs. There's thousands of cheap services that will do that for you. Um, if you're nice to me, I might just do it for you, right? There's so many services, there's so many places, and so many ways to do it. It's kind of insane, and you don't even have to worry about it anymore. You can outsource most of it, right? And you might still be thinking, well, it seems difficult to do all that work. It's really not, because the way that I talk about these things, the way that I talk about them on Twitter, the way that I talk about them in my email list, I make it very, very simple. And I also walk you guys through it step by step as step, right? It's so simple. No one's really had a hard time with it. Most of my students do a really good job. They kill it, and they're really excited right off the bat. So much so that I'm kind of surprised some of my students are actually doing better than me now. So don't have excuse me, you know, kind of quell your fears in that sense, because it's really not as bad as you would think. It's actually much simpler and much easier to understand than most people realize, and it's not really that difficult at all, right? Now you know how simple Amazon is, even just for beginners. It's truly one of the easiest platforms, probably the easiest platform to sell on. And the whole reason that Amazon's taking over the world is literally because of this, because they made themselves so easy to sell on and do really well with. Now, lastly, secret number 3, I'm going to talk about how you can sell your products to millions of people for the price of a meal, right? I don't know how much a meal costs where you guys are. Let's just say like $4 or $5. Now, the big secret for Amazon, my favorite part of Amazon, is it's a low cost, low time investment. Okay? I know that sounds a little nutty, but it really is. Now, as mentioned before, just look at this as like the Amazon Shopify difference, right? You can buy ads to a store that nobody knows, which is having a Shopify store, or you can buy inventory to your Amazon store. Now, when I started, I didn't know about Shopify at all. I only knew about Amazon, right? And I thought, well, I have to put in a lot of time and all this kind of stuff. When I started, I was putting in maybe 1 to 2 hours a day, if that. I was in college and I had a lot of free time. So I was putting probably a little bit more in. But when it comes to Amazon, when it comes to any of this stuff, if you put in a little bit of time, you'll see results, right? You don't have to put in 5 hours a day. You can put in 30 minutes a day to an hour a day. And Amazon's one of the easiest places to do that. But let's talk about this first, the biggest thing, right? Oh, whoops, excuse me. Now, little story for you guys, right? I've mentioned this several times before. My first order, when I first bought my set of inventory on Amazon, was $1,048, right? That's how much I bought. I bought $1,048 worth of compression sleeves and yoga mats and whatever else. That 1148 or 1048 made me 2250 in revenue, right? Not that much. It took about 6 weeks to do that, but over the course of those 6 weeks, I went from spending $1,048 to making $2,250, right? And then I took that money, I reinvested it, I ordered more product, and then the next time around once I sold through all that, I made $7,680. That was about another 2 or 3 months out. I brought all that back in, reinvested it, and after that, I grew to $27,425. This whole process took about 7 months, right? I started with 1,048 and it jumped to 27,000 in about 7 months, which if you really think about it, I don't think there's any other place where you could do that. And the crazy thing is too, that my costs went down and my profits went up, right? Now, comparatively, what I want to ask you guys is if you invest $1,048 into Facebook ads, you might get $1,200 back in sales, right? Or you might lose it all with no return, right? It's very much possible. When you buy ads, you don't get a return. That money's gone. And if you generate sales, great, that's possible. But as everybody knows, your first $500 to $1,000 on Facebook is spent just getting information, and sometimes that information is useless. Right? So buying inventory is much better than buying ads, because when you buy inventory, you're actually just trading money for something else of the same value. And usually it has more value and you can make money off of it. Right? And I'm sure you're thinking that, well, there's maybe some doubt, right? You might be thinking, well, I don't have enough money to start. I started with less than $1,100. I never put in any more money. I didn't buy ads. I didn't run PPC. I didn't do any of that stuff. I just set up my account. I spent the $1,100. I got the product. I made the listing, and it took me a while. It actually took me quite some time, right? Like 6 weeks to move 100 units is a really, really slow moving process, but it worked. And I kept trying and I reinvested and I got to several thousands a month very, very quickly. When I was in college, I was losing my mind making that much money. Um, and but it was something that was really exciting for me. It was very simple. It was really easy to understand. And the other thing is that you might be thinking, well, I have a busy life. I don't have time to learn this stuff. I have to, take care of my kids. I have to take care of my spouse, whatever. I'm in school, right? I want to ask you something. Do you have 30 days, right? Do you have 30 minutes a day, or maybe a few hours a week to learn this stuff? Because the basics take a very short amount of time to learn, right? You don't have to actually go through and spend hours and hours and hours and days and days and days. The basics take a very short amount of time to learn. And once you understand the basics, you'll be all set. You'll do a really good job in your whole process, and you'll kind of get to a point where you'll learn these things really, really well. Everything becomes very simple, and eventually it becomes very easy. And it's not one of those things where it's like, hey, you need it's not rocket science, it's not engineering. I'm not trying to tell you to be an engineer. What I'm teaching you is how to use a proven strategy to be successful on Amazon, right? Now, you guys understand why selling to millions of people on Amazon is super cheap, right? Same thing I mentioned before. There's people there, they want to buy, they come back to buy often. So much so that Amazon has those little buttons in people's houses now where they just say, hey, I want this, boom, and it's on the way, right? Now, we're going to move forward. Before I do that, I want to show you guys a free product research method. Actually, I'm going to show you two real quick. So give me 1 second. Let me share my screen with you guys. All right, real quick. Can you guys see my screen? I'm scrolling back and forth. Somebody say yes if you guys can see it. I'm jumping right to left. Not yet? What do you guys see right now? You guys see that now? Do you see a website called MassDrop? I want to make sure you guys can see that. No? Oh, no, you guys can't see it? Hold on. Do you guys see MassDrop now? MassDrop.com. I'm scrolling up and down. Oh, no. See, this is a massive bummer. Sorry about that, guys. Still nothing? What are you guys seeing right now? Gray screen. Oh, no. You guys see a little box on the lower screen? Do you guys see it now? I'm scrolling up and down on a website. Perfect. All right, great. Now, free product research, right? This is a website called MassDrop. If you guys have heard of it, great. If not, you can check it out. So people ask me all the time. They say, hey, I can't find a product. I can't find a good niche. I don't know what to sell. I don't want to make the wrong decisions. I don't want to blah, 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 right? All the stuff that comes up all the time. So I'm going to give this away right now. If you've heard of this website, great. If not, it's a really, really cool website. It's a website where you can shop for stuff, right? It's people selling other things. It's kind of more like an outdoorsy, like hobbyist type of website. But there's ideas here left and right. Like you can see all this stuff. There's so much going on here, right? These products are all very, very niche. Every time I go to this website, I see products I've never seen before. I didn't even know existed, right? There's one right there. Diamond sharpening system. Boom. These different types of wallets, whatever else it is. There's so many different products here that you can go to. And what's great is you can set up communities and categories and see what work. Like find stuff that you're interested in, find communities that you're interested in, find categories that you're interested in. A lot of this, like I said, is like outdoorsy, right? But you can get some really good ideas. There's something, I think, right there for an Apple Watch. There's clothing, there's like hammock stuff, so much stuff here. And this is because it's coming up like this because this is mine and I do a lot of this stuff. So my communities and categories are picked like this, right? If you come on here, you pick the stuff that you like, the stuff that you want, and you can find some really, really good product ideas and niche ideas too, right? It's great to finding a niche. It's great to go deeper with it. Look, you can get tweets on a mug, right? You can get whatever this is. All this stuff this website's totally free. I use this website constantly. I actually use something similar to help a client launch a pair of sunglasses with it was like we paired sunglasses with underwear, and we got the idea from MassDrop, right? So MassDrop.com. This is a website that is really, really good. The more you look at it and bounce around, the more ideas you'll get. and you can have a lot of fun with it. Now, website number 2 is one that I'm sure some of you have heard of. shutupandtakemymoney.com. If you haven't heard of this website, it's actually pretty funny. It's something you should just check out, right? Now, everybody's always talking about whiskey cups and whatever else, right? Middle finger whiskey decanter. It's a $132 product. I'm guessing you can find this easily on Alibaba, right? There's a pretty funny one, right? You look at this. Some of these are copyrights and you want to stay away from that. But this is something that you could probably find on Alibaba, AliExpress, and get it and move and sell it over here, right? Here's another one. This is some super, super random niche product. This is super niche. It's super weird, random products that people definitely buy. There's one right there, and it's sold on Amazon, right? Excuse me. Let's take a look real quick. Oh, it's not pulling it up. Never mind. But anyway, you look through this website, right? This is a website. It's literally called Shut Up and Take My Money because people have just a bunch of dumb stuff on here that is really funny that people really like. You know, like these wiper blades or whatever. So that's something that is, it's really useful. I use this website quite a bit. I'll kind of just surf on here to find ideas. You can go literally, they have niches. Like these are all niches, right? You can find niches right here. And you click on something and you go in there. And now if you're a total noob, I understand it's a little kind of daunting, but it's definitely something that's helped me out quite a bit. This website's been around for a long time, and I used to use it to get ideas for different products I could sell, different ways to market products. This is basically like a 101 on marketing, on how to sell good products, how to find stuff that people like and what people like about it as well, right? So both of these websites are great. I would highly recommend them. I'm giving these 2 away. I usually don't give these away or tell people websites that I use, but because you were here and you're still here on this webinar, I want to make sure you guys get an understanding of sorry about the background noise. I live in Los Angeles. It's a little crazy here. But I want to make sure you guys, get something of value here. And I think this is something that's really good. If you're having trouble with product research or you're trying to figure out what to sell or why to sell, how to sell it, both of these websites, massdrop.com, shutupandtakemymoney.com, are great in terms of finding products. Do you buy wholesale from there? No, so you don't buy wholesale from these 2 websites. If you want to do wholesale, you would go to Alibaba.com. I'll show you guys that real quick. Oh no. Okay. Yeah. Anyway, Alibaba is where you get wholesale stuff. Alibaba, AliExpress, and then there's a couple other ones. Trying to figure out. There's an American manufacturer website too that I can't remember right now. But this is where you would go. Alibaba and AliExpress is like wholesale products, right? You see super cheap ones here and here and here. So there you go, Max. Not that one. Those are like individual ones. Let me figure this out real quick. Thanks for being patient on the webinar, guys. Cool. Oh no, I have to jump all the way forward. No problem. All right. So massdrop.com, Alibaba, you can sign up for their newsletter too. You've got both of them right there. 2 great examples of websites that I use to find products on a regular basis. There's a lot of clients I've helped find products on there as well, right? So there you guys go. I appreciate you staying close to the end. Now, I want to ask you guys a question. If you listen to what I said in secret number 1, right, and you start on Amazon over everywhere else, and then you use my simple strategy from secret number 2, and you don't waste any time or money by following secret number 3, do you think you could be successful? Honestly, do you guys think you could be successful? If you do think you could be successful, I want you to type yes with an exclamation point in the chat right now. Right? Now, the other thing I want to ask you guys is, what if you could do all that starting right now, right? You don't wait until tomorrow. You don't wait until next week. You don't wait until 6 months from now. You don't wait until everything lines up in your life or the planets align or anything like that. What if you could do all that starting right now, right? That's something that most people would say, yeah, like why would you start later? You don't want to start later. You want to start right now, right? Now, I've shown you guys quite a bit here in terms of how I do stuff and everything like that. Now I'm curious if you want me to show you how even further, right? If you want me to show you how you can be successful the same way that I was successful, right? How you guys are basically where I was, maybe even like a little bit further ahead from where I was. And I'm pretty sure most people say like, I don't think anything big, I don't think anything I've done is super special, but people say they want to be where I am. So you guys are starting a little bit ahead of where I was, and I'm sure most of you would want to be where I am, and I hope that you actually get past where I am, right? Now, if you want me to show you how, I'm going to tell you something that's really important. So for several months now, a lot of people hit me up on Twitter and they say, hey, we want to do private coaching. Do you do mentorship? Do you do trainings? Do you do this? Do you do that? We need your help. I want to learn from you and all this kind of stuff. Now, if you got on Twitter months ago, I was helping quite a bit of people, right? And this is when I had 200 or 300 followers. And then more and more people started paying attention and started getting bigger. And it became a point where I couldn't answer DMs all the time. It became a little crazy. So what I decided to do was make a full-scale course with all my training and everything in it. I literally took everything that I know and put it into a course. I put it into a training module that's about 12 or 13 hours of footage. It's no fluff. It's just straight facts on what I know on Amazon based on everything that people were asking me, right? People were asking me questions all the time, and I kept writing down these questions and saying, okay, what do people want to learn? And I didn't think I'd get this big on Twitter, but I kept getting bigger and bigger and bigger. And I was like, okay, well, I can't keep doing this one-on-one because it's taking up probably 20 or 30 hours a week of my time. So I created something called the Amazon Masterclass, right? You guys are in the webinar right now. Now, I looked at everything and I realized two things. People want to learn how to make money, right? And it's not so much that people want to be millionaires, it's that people want to have a life that they get to control. And they want to have their own life. They want to learn how to do these things on their own. They want to be in charge of their time, right? And so I thought, okay, people want to learn how to make money. They want to learn how to make enough to take care of themselves and their family. And the other thing was that most people know that it's not going to just happen overnight. They want to take some time for it. So that's what the Amazon Masterclass is. That's how the Amazon Masterclass was born. It's something that is here to teach you how to master Amazon in no time, how to find the best products before anybody else does. You know, you're going to find products that you're going to make them successful, and then other people are going to want to copycat you. And by the time they copy you, you're jumping onto something else, right? Excuse me. The class also teaches you exactly how to talk to suppliers, how to talk to the right people, excuse me. Sorry about that. Sorry about the distraction. Learn the exact tactics on how to talk to the suppliers to avoid any issues, to talk to them in the right way and everything like that. Like everything I know that I've done for the last 4 or 5 years, I'm teaching you there. The other big thing is it teaches you all the branding secrets for big bucks, right? All the branding secrets that I learned, all the mistakes that I made, everything that I didn't know, that I know now, I put it all in there, right? And I think the most fun and the most valuable aspect of it is that the Amazon Masterclass has my exact 6-figure launch strategy that I used when I was at Ring. So everything that I did at Ring to take them from 16 million to 6 million, everything I did at Cavo to take them from literally zero to 20, 30 grand a week within a couple of weeks and get to the #1 spot is all in there. And the best part is, excuse me, you get free content for life, right? This is one of those things that when I start, when I add anything new, as Amazon changes, and I'm constantly like, Amazon's my whole life. So as I learn more stuff, I'm going to keep adding it and adding it and adding it. And you have free access for life. It's not one of those things that you pay for it once, then you have to pay for more stuff in the future. So you buy it now, a year from now, it's probably going to have double the content. You don't have to pay anymore. You'll get the same thing, right? Free content for life. So if you sign up for the Amazon Masterclass today, what you're going to get is the Amazon Masterclass, my 6-figure launch strategy. That in and of itself, the class itself has a value of $1,500. The 6-figure launch strategy is $1,000 by itself, right? You'll also get a bonus of the Amazon Marketing Secrets Blueprint. Now, the Marketing Secrets Blueprint, my favorite thing about this is there's 2 guys from Twitter who sell on Amazon. They both asked me for help, and I walked them through my launch strategy and my marketing strategy. And both of them, one of them paid $2,000 for a course, one of them paid $1,000 for a course, and both of them told me that they didn't learn any of this in the course, right? They didn't learn any of this. They didn't learn any of the stuff I was talking about, and they were pretty upset. And I'd be more than happy to tell you guys who they are after the webinar, right? So I made the Marketing Secrets Blueprint on my strategy that I use to launch products and do a really good job with it. That is included as well, right? That in and of itself is $1,000 value, is $997. Now, I'm so sorry about the coffee. The other thing that I realized was one of the most successful, one of the aspects of what made me the most successful in the early days was um, everything I learned in terms of how to be successful based on the group that I was in. I was in a Facebook group that was really, really helpful, and I learned so much. And it was great because I joined when a bunch of other people joined, so it was all of us coming up together and helping each other out, right? And the best part about that is someone else will be selling something that you like and you could buy it from them and help them with reviews, and someone will buy stuff that you like. It's like basically a bunch of friends, right? Now, the other big thing about this is this Facebook group is only open to people who are here in this webinar right now. This is not something that's open to other people that aren't in the webinar. If you're not here, you're not going to get access to it. So the only people who get access to this Facebook group, which is a $500 value, is people who showed up here today, right? Now, this is a big one. The other thing that I want to point out is I get a lot of people who want individual help, who want one-on-one mentorship. If I signed up every single person, I would basically not have a life. I wouldn't have any time to do anything I want to do because there's people constantly hitting me up, right? And this is something that I charge $500 for. The first time I do a consulting call with a startup or a big company, right off the bat, they have to give me $500 for me to even talk to them, for me to look at their Amazon page, for me to look at their account. Now, obviously, I'm not expecting you guys to pay that because that's something that, I charge that to big companies. But what I want to do is offer this up to people who are actually committed. Like I said, this isn't a course that's for people who are just going to sit there, who aren't going to take action, who aren't going to do what they need to do. This is for people who are going to put in the work, who are going to bust their ass, who are going to work really hard. And as a result of that, the first 10 people today from this webinar who decide to move forward are going to get a free one-on-one strategy call. This is an hour-long call, and I'll tell you guys something. I'll let you in on a little secret. My strategy calls end up going, I'll say they're an hour. They'll probably go like an hour 10, an hour 20, because I don't really care. I want to help people out, right? I like to spend more time. Obviously, I like to talk, and I want to help people out. So first 10 people on from this webinar who decide to move forward will get the one-on-one strategy call. It'll be an hour long. I'll chat with you. We'll get on the phone. I'll walk you through everything. The 11th person will not get this offer. This is a webinar only offer, and it's only available for the first 10 people. If you're on the webinar and basically if you wait and you're the 11th, I'm sorry, but it's not going to happen. I might open that up again in the future at some point. But as far as the free strategy call is concerned for people who are on the webinar, it'll only be for the first 10 people, right? Now, I'm stacking value nonstop here. You're looking at the Amazon Masterclass, the 6-figure launch strategy, the marketing secrets blueprint, the Facebook group, the one-on-one strategy call, right? But I'm not done yet. There's more. The first bonus I'm going to offer as well is the product research workbook. Now, I've made a workbook where you basically find products, you input all the numbers, right? It takes out all the guesswork. You don't have to worry about, well, what's my profit going to be? How much am I going to pay for shipping? How much is this? No. You put in the numbers based on what I show you in the course, right? And everything gets simplified, right? You basically just put in the numbers, and the workbook breaks out exactly how much you'll make, how much you need to put up, what the shipping cost is going to be, what your per unit cost is going to be, what your per unit profit is going to be. All of that is very simple, and all of that is very simplified in the product research workbook, which is available as well for everybody in the webinar. That in and of itself is a $197 value, right? And I'm still actually not done. The other big thing that I've realized that a lot of people have trouble with is when you talk to suppliers, most of them are in China, right? And they don't speak English. They speak a little bit of English, but there's always still issues. Over time, with the number of people I've dealt with and the number of suppliers I've talked to, I've understood how to speak to them properly, how to write out scripts, how to kind of take out the guesswork. Because what you don't want is to have issues with the products you're ordering because you're spending $500, $600, $700, $1,000, right? Imagine spending that money and then you realize that you ordered something wrong or you didn't get what you wanted because you couldn't communicate properly with the supplier, right? So you want to take the guesswork out of that. So I also throw that in, which is a $197 value that comes in as a free bonus with the Amazon Masterclass, right? And every time something comes up, here's a great part. There's a couple scripts in there, right? Initial supplier contact, the first time you reach out, first time you're ordering products, all that's in there. But beyond that, what else I do is once more and more people are in the masterclass and they have issues and they have concerns, all they have to do is tell me like, hey, I'm trying to talk to a supplier. I don't know what to do. Can you help me out? I'm going to take a look. I'm going to come up with a script, shoot it off to everybody, and then I'm going to add it to the masterclass. It's going to be in there because I want everyone to be able to benefit from that. So if you're here now, you'll also get that for free. That's something that, is it's essential, so you get it with all that. Now, here's the thing. What else do you need to succeed, right? I'm giving you everything. I'm giving you the blueprint so that you can profit big with every single product. So you can learn how to play the game so you don't have to worry as much. The biggest issue that people have is they worry that, hey, it's not going to work. If you took out the guesswork and if I told you, hey, here's a big list of what works and what doesn't work, you know to stay within the list of what works and how to avoid what doesn't work. And that's how you'll be, that's how you find the success that you want, right? I'm here giving you that blueprint. So that's literally what all of this is. It's a whole full-scale list of what works, and it goes over what doesn't work as well. Now, at a normal value, this is $4,879, right? And that's not just some number I'm pulling out of my ass. That's an actual real amount of how much my course costs, how much my launch strategy costs. Everything here is exactly what the value stacks at, right? Now, I want to ask you something. If all this did was prove that making money online is possible for you, I want to know if it would be worth it, right? If the Amazon Masterclass proved that it was possible for you guys to be making money, would it be worth it, right? If it gave you the exact steps to start a business and scale it to 6 figures in a year, would it be worth it, right? Now, the reason I say a year is because I'm not trying to sell you on some bullshit pipe dream. You're not going to make 6 figures tomorrow. You're not going to make it in a month. But 12 months from now, if you were making 6 figures online, would it be worth it, right? Let's be realistic here. I'm not trying to say you can quit your job in 6 months. You can quit your job in a year, maybe 2 years, right? But the fact of the matter is, think back to 2 years ago. If you hated your job 2 years ago, chances are you hate it now. You're going to hate it in 2 years. So it's a way out, right? If this gave you the exact steps to start a business and scale it to 6 figures in a year, would it be worth it? If this showed you how to quit your job and work for yourself in 12 months, would it be worth it, right? Now, some people, I'm sure a lot of people would say, yeah, that would be worth it. And I got to ask, like, learning Amazon, mastering Amazon, what is it worth to you? Is it one successful store? Is it 20,000, 50,000, 100,000, whatever, right? How much would you pay to learn everything from Amazon start to finish from somebody who's mastered it, from somebody who's done it for myself, done it for big companies, done it for startups, doing it for other people right now? 2 clients who I learned who I learned of from Twitter, who are already making money on Amazon, right? How much would you pay to learn everything from somebody who's done it multiple times? Now, I want to touch base on something real quick, right? Because some people I know are going to have an issue. They're going to raise a concern. Some people are going to be upset, right? I had 2 choices when I did this. First option was to go really, really cheap. First option was to go really cheap. Maybe I could sell the Amazon Masterclass for $50, right? If I did that, I would have no incentive to add value or stack any value and provide personal coaching to my students. If I sold this for $50, there would be no launch strategy. There would be no consulting calls. There would be no Facebook group. There would be no suppliers. None of that. I wouldn't put any of that in there because I would have no incentive to put it in there. And I would sell it to a lot of people, and then I wouldn't pay any attention to anybody buying because 1,000 people would buy it, and then it's like, great, you bought it, you can figure it out. I didn't want to do that, right? My other option was that I require a higher level of investment. And the reason that I required a high level of investment is more for you guys than it is for me. It's a little bit for me, but in exchange, I can devote way more time because the thing is that you're not gonna, if the people who do move forward, they're gonna try hard, right? They have money on the line, they have skin in the game, they're gonna work, they're gonna try something, they're not gonna BS it. They're actually gonna put in the work. And in exchange, I'm gonna be able to devote more time and more resources to help all of you reach your dreams and ensure you take action. I'm not just gonna sit there like, great, you guys are in the course and you guys do your own thing. No, I'm going to help you out. I'm going to check up on you. I'm going to follow up on you. I want you to be successful, right? And that was my second option. Because if I didn't, then, excuse me, if I didn't do that, if I went with the first option, I would have too many people to check up on and I wouldn't really care so much for it, right? So here it's a higher level of investment, but it's people who are actually interested, who are actually going to take the action. Because if you lose $50, you don't care, right? But if you lose more than that, if you lose this kind of a significant amount, you're going to think, no, I got to change this up. I got to actually go forward with this. So you can see why if you take all of this stuff that I've learned over the years, stuff that's literally made companies millions and millions of dollars, stuff that's made me thousands and thousands upon thousands of dollars, so much so that I get to work for myself now, right? You can see why it would be a good deal at $5,000, $4,879. You can see that. Now, for the general public, my course, the Amazon Masterclass, is $997. That's how much I push it. That's how much I keep it on a regular basis. And that's what it's actually going to jump to as soon as this webinar is over, right? $997 was what I put it out for the general public because that's basically a safe amount. That's what people like. That's what I feel is a fair price based on everything I've been through. But because you're here, right? You're going to go through and get all of this stuff. And because you stuck with me and rocked through this webinar and you guys asked great questions and I had a lot of fun, then my whole goal here is I'm going to cut the price down and you can get started right now for $497, right? You can click the button. If you can't click the button, just take the link, theamzmasterclass.com, put it in your browser. That's what I'm offering you guys today. If you want to get started right now, you literally have access to everything I mentioned for $497 today. You don't have to wait on anything else, right? Now, here's the thing. You have two choices. Your first option is to do nothing. Don't take the leap of faith, which is 100% risk-free. I understand that you might not want to do it. This might not be the right time. That's totally fine, right? You can do nothing. You can go back to doing whatever it is that you were doing. You don't have to take a chance, right? The other option is you can make this small investment in yourself today, right? And it's a small investment compared to all the value you're going to get in return, and you could give it a shot, right? You can give it a shot. You can say, hey, you know what? I want to try this. I want to do something different. I don't want the last 60 days. I don't want the next 60 days to look like the last 60 days, right? I don't want to do that. I want to make a change. I want things to be different. I want things to be different 6 months from now, a year from now, whatever, right? You want to do that, you take this leap of faith, you give it a shot. And if it works out, great. And honestly, I promise you, if you put in the work and you hustle, it will work out, right? And here's the other thing. I'm so confident that it will work out that if you do it and you can't find a way to make it work, if it's horribly difficult and you're having a really, really hard time, right? Here's what you have to do. Just ask for your money back and you'll get it, right? 30-day guarantee. If you sign up today and if it doesn't work out for you, you say, hey, you know what? I don't think this is a good fit. I don't think I'm doing a good job. I don't think this is something I can figure out. I will give you your money back. You just have to let me know. You have 30 days. You could literally email me 29 days, 23 hours, 59 minutes from now, and I'll take a look, and let's say it's not working out and you've tried your hardest and I can't help you get there. I will give you your money back on the spot. And the reason I'm saying that is this is a webinar only offer, right? Everyone who's at the webinar right now, I'll have your emails, I'll see all this, and I'll know who moved forward from the webinar and who didn't. And if you're in the webinar, you get this special offer. And when you go to my sales page, you'll see that my sales page says no refunds. If you aren't here in the webinar, you don't have this option. If you're not here, you don't get a refund, right? So if you are here and you decide to move forward, you've got 30 days. You got a 30-day guarantee. And if you don't like it and I can't help you figure it out and I can't win you over, I will give you a full refund, no questions asked. So touch base real quick, right? Looking at all this, the masterclass, the six-figure launch strategy, the marketing secrets blueprint, the 24/7 support, right? The 24/7 support group, as I forgot to mention, actually, can't believe I forgot, I'm going to be in that Facebook group. So if you get if you're one of the first people, you get the one-on-one strategy call and you're in the Facebook group, you're going to have constant access to me. You can ping me anytime. You can say, hey, I need help with this. What do you think I should do? And I'll tell you guys, and other people in there will help you out as well, but I'll be in there. So you have literally 24/7 access to me for any questions that come up, for any concerns or anything like that. So you'll actually have full access to a bunch of other people who are learning just like you, but more importantly, you'll have access to me and probably a couple of my friends who are also really, really big on Amazon, very successful, who I'm going to bring in there to help you guys out, right? So any questions you have in terms of being scared or not knowing what to do doesn't even matter. All you do is hop on Facebook and say, hey, tag me in the post, say, this is what I'm worried about, this is what's bothering me, what do I do, right? And then you, excuse me, and then I'll help you out. So that's the other thing with the Facebook group, right? So real quick, on that note, right? You can get started right now for $497. I'm stacking all this value for you guys. I want to help you guys out. I want to make sure everybody benefits from this. And if you're actually ready to put in the work, to hustle, to put in, to do what you need to do, you can get there, right? If you go to the amzmasterclass.com, go to the sign up page, I'll actually show you guys real quick. Let's see if I can do this properly this time, right? When you go to the website, there we go, right? The amzmasterclass.com. All you have to do is go up here, scroll down, go to the Amazon Masterclass, and I want to show you guys that I'm not bullshitting, right? Refund policy. I don't offer refunds for my courses, right? Boom. This is so now you guys know that this isn't something that I'm just saying. This literally is on my sales page. You will not get a refund if you're not somebody from the webinar. If you're from the webinar and it doesn't work out, You don't have to worry about it. You'll get a refund. Anyway, you go here and you can enroll in the course right now. And it's $497, as I promised, right? So that's the other thing that I want to tell you guys. Now, I'm sure there's some skepticism. There's some people who have an issue here and there. They're confused, or you think, well, it might not be for me, or I don't have the money. And I totally understand that, right? Totally understand that. But what I want to tell you guys, what I want to ask you guys is one big thing that you guys want to, sorry about that, excuse me. One huge thing that I want to tell you guys, or one major aspect of the way to play this game is you're looking at money as something that has value, right? Money has value, and money is something that you could spend it. When you spend it on food, it's gone. When you spend it on something else, it's gone. This is something where you're exchanging your $497 for something that has a good amount of value. You're not just buying something that it's not a couch to sit on. It's not food to eat. It's not a computer to use for Twitter or social media or anything else. You're using your money to buy information and to buy into a new belief system, a new way of life, a whole set of skills that you that are going to put you to the next level, right? You're not excuse me. You're not spending this money, you're exchanging it. It's an investment in yourself. You're spending $497 to get information that I've used to make millions and millions of dollars, right? And for other companies, and thousands upon thousands for myself, hundreds of thousands of dollars for myself, right? And that's the big thing. People think, well, I'm spending money and I don't know if I'm going to get it back. I don't know if it's going to be worth it and everything like that. I've literally taken away any risk. If you guys don't like it, 30 days, boom, right? There's no risk here. But the big thing is that I know that you're going to enjoy it. I know you're going to have a great time in the course. You're going to you're going to learn so much. You're going to go in there and within a couple of days think like, wow, this is insane that this is $497. You guys will see when you're in there how much the value definitely is, like $48.79 or even $5,000. How much it greatly exceeds that. And you got to think, like, honestly, I want to ask you guys, like, where'd you spend the last $500 that you spent, right? Outside of expenses and bills and everything like that, I'm willing to bet in the last 30 days you spent $500 somewhere, right? $500 that you can't account for, right? Food, going out, whatever else it is. So that means you're probably going to spend another $500 in the next 30 days that you won't account for because you're just kind of out doing things, enjoying yourselves. And that's $500 that you're not going to get back. Whereas if you buy the Amazon Masterclass, it's $500 that gets you the information you need, that gets you everything you need to move forward and to learn everything you need to learn. And it teaches you how to make more money. Literally thousands and thousands and thousands is what you're trading it for, right? It just requires some work and for you to, excuse me, sorry about that. To put in some work, to keep hustling, to work hard, to put in more and more time. And that's what you're doing here. You're trading $497 right now for for something more in the future, for something that you want to know, for something you want to learn. And that's what it is, right? It's a big investment into your future. And the other thing too is it's a big issue. The other thing here that you're doing is you're breaking the cycle of spending, right? You're changing it to investing, as I mentioned before. You're investing in yourself. You're investing in a different future. You're investing in something that's going to teach you how to get to the next level. It's not just like, hey, I'm going to spend money on something that's not going to bring me money back, right? You buy a car, it doesn't bring money back to you every single month. A car is something that you spend money on, it costs more money. But if you invest into a business and if you invest into yourself, these are things that you can never lose. If you learn all of this stuff, you're never going to lose it. You're going to learn more. You're going to keep growing. You're going to do even more so in terms of, what you need to get to the next level, right? That's what this is. $500 here and there is going to keep coming and going, coming and going, coming and going. This is something that you're going to have forever. You're going to learn things. When you learn things, you usually don't forget them. And once you put them in practice, you definitely don't forget them. So you basically what you're doing here is you're breaking the cycle of spending and you're changing it to investing. You're investing in yourself. You're finding ways to win. You're finding ways to get to the next level, to change your life. That's literally what this is, right? And the other thing, I think one big thing is, some people might say, well, that's a lot of money. Honestly, if you really think about it in the grand scheme of things, it's really not. Like, I'm not asking you guys to come up with $100,000. I'm not asking you guys to come up with $200,000, $300,000, $400,000, right? If I was asking for that, you would have to struggle. You would have to actually figure some stuff out and have some trouble. And most people probably wouldn't be able to come up with that type of money. But that's not what I'm asking you to do. you're looking at something that costs $500. If you really think hard about it, $500 is definitely something you can come up with. It's something you can borrow from friends or family. It's something you can you can probably sell something that you own that you haven't touched for and get $500 for it. And um, excuse me. It's something you can definitely find if you really put in the work, if you really put in the effort, right? You can definitely go and do it. When I first needed that $1,000, I had no money. That 1048, I was some kid in college, and I literally just started Ubering around and selling stuff here and there, and that's how I came up with the money. I came up with the first 500, and my dad said, "I'll give you the next 500 if you come up with the first 500." Right? And that's what I did to buy my first set of products that I needed. I just did what I needed to do. I found ways to make money. I found that. And at the time, I was a broke little college kid. Most of you aren't broke college kids, right? And that's the big difference here. That if you really, really want to put in the effort, if you really want to do this, if you really want to change your life, if you really want to move forward, you'll find the money. And the big thing here too is I don't want people who are just going to buy it and then not do anything with it. If you're interested, if you're thinking, well, I'm going to buy the course and then I might do it, I might not. I don't want you to buy the course. I want people who are going to be action takers, who are going to change the game, who are going to change their lives. Because the same way that I literally went from being totally black and white, from thinking life could never change to where I am now, that's what I want for you guys. That's the story that I want. That's what I want to um, um, that's what I want you guys to understand. That's what I want you guys to experience. This isn't something that I want people to come in and think, well, I'm not going to do this. I don't know what. Excuse me. I don't want people to come in and buy it and then not do anything. I don't want people in the Facebook group who don't know what they're talking about, who don't want to take action, who just keep asking the same questions over and over again. If this is something that is for people who want to make a change, who actually want to do something, right? And you're basically all sitting where I was when I watched that webinar a long time ago. And then I'm sure most of you want to get to a point where I am. I get that all the time where people are saying, how do I get to where you are? This is exactly how you get to where I am. Right? So much so that, like I mentioned, the two guys on Twitter who bought their own courses, who bought a course for $2,000 and another one who bought a course for $1,000, and both of them said they learned more from me than they learned from that course, right? Because there's people who talk about stuff that they haven't actually done, and there's people who talk about stuff that they have done. People who know what they're doing, know what they're talking about. That's the big difference, right? So you're learning from somebody firsthand who knows all this stuff. I'm literally giving you full access to everything and full access to me to learn everything you guys need to learn. So today for the webinar, if you're on here now, you can do it for $497, right? The first 10 people get the one-on-one call. You guys all have access to me, and you will be able to get to the next level on Amazon. If this is something that's interesting, something that you guys want to do, then make that decision. You can take a leap of faith or you can't. And the big thing that I want to push when people are scared or skeptical or hectic or anything like that is the fact that I've literally eliminated any risk, right? If this is something that you tried, like you buy it today and you don't like it, you have 30 days. Send me an email and I'll give you your money back. You don't have any issues. I'm not going to ask you any questions. You guys really honestly don't like it, you just bounce off and just shoot me an email and say, hey, you know what? I don't think this is going to work out, and I'll happily give you your money back. And if you have questions right now, you can send me an email, as you can see here, growthfoundry@gmail.com. I'm sure some people are going to have some questions after the webinar. Feel free to email me. I'm more than happy to answer your questions. I'm more than happy to help you guys out all the time. And I'm actually going to get ready to wrap up the webinar relatively soon. We've got about another 40 seconds before everything closes. If you guys have any questions, feel free to hit the chat right now. I'm going to take 30 seconds to answer questions real quick. So if you guys have anything going on, just shoot a message in the chat. And there are some questions here. What about US suppliers? Yeah, so in my course, there's 2 or 3 different websites I use to answer questions, or there's a couple different websites that I go over that connect you with US suppliers. So if you want domestic suppliers, my course does go over that. There's a sourcing section that goes over all the websites. There's about 7 or 8 in there. So there's Korean websites that you can find Korean suppliers, Chinese suppliers, Indian suppliers, American suppliers. So yeah, if you want to learn more about that, that's in there as well. I do cover a couple different websites I've used to find suppliers in the United States. There's supposed to be no sound. There is sound. if you want to shoot with the upcoming sanctions on Alibaba by the U.S., shouldn't we try and get U.S. wholesalers? Yeah, definitely. You can try to get U.S. wholesalers. Like I mentioned, I do go over that in the course as well. There's a lot of U.S. wholesalers, and uh, you can go there and talk to. You can go to those websites. You can find American suppliers. You can work with them. What's great is you can actually. I've worked with American suppliers several times, and I've gone through and I've actually met them in person and ordered product from them. So yeah, you definitely should try to find American suppliers. The tariffs haven't kicked in yet. They were supposed to actually kick in last year. It's one of those things that's kind of like back and forth, back and forth. But if you are worried about that, Um, I've never had any issues with the tariffs. I don't have any issues now. I just ordered more products for one of my clients. Never had any issues. There's a little bit of fees here and there, but it's not as bad. So it's not as big of a deal. But yeah, American U.S. wholesalers are always the best. Just know that it's going to cost a little bit more. What if I only want consultations? I have access to the course material already. If you want consultations, shoot me an email. And if you've already paid for the course, then yeah, I mean, you can do consultations. You can just send me a message on Twitter or send me an email at growthfoundry@gmail, and we can schedule a consultation call. Um, Somebody said, "Is there's definitely sound." Um, let's see. U.S. suppliers, cost of can I sign up with the course under a different email? Yeah, you can use a different email. Just send me an email to growthfoundry@gmail, and I will make a note so I know that if anything happens, I'll know that you watch the webinar. So yeah, Joe, if you have a different email you want to sign up for the webinar or for the course, just let me know which one it is, and I will. I'll keep that in mind if anything comes up. So yeah, you can definitely do that. American suppliers cost a lot more, right? Yeah, American suppliers definitely cost a lot more. Not like a lot, but they are going to be a little bit more. So if you're talking about something in China that's like $5 to $7, in the U.S. it'll probably be like closer to 11. But you can also use that in your marketing. You can benefit from that and make quite a bit of money because if something is American made, you can definitely make more money off of it and charge a higher price. Is there any suppliers you refuse to work with? Yeah, there's a good number of suppliers that you should be careful of. You can kind of filter them out on Alibaba and AliExpress, and I go over that in the course. I show you exactly how to find the right suppliers so that you don't have any issues with the ones that you're talking to, because that's really important. Um, so yeah, there's some suppliers that you shouldn't work with. I go over specifically how to find good suppliers, how to gauge suppliers, how to vet suppliers. All that's covered in the course as well. Ashley said, when you're starting off, how many hours a week do you think is sufficient to set aside for the course? Honestly, that comes down to you. It's more so that you're consistent. So if you can give 30 minutes a day, you'll be good. If you give 30 minutes a day, you'll go through the course in 2 weeks. You'll learn everything and you'll be all set because it's about 13 hours of footage. If you can do more, then you should do more. But yeah, it depends on how much time you have, how much work you want to put in. But 30 minutes a day, which I think is more than reasonable, you can get through the course in 2 weeks. If you want to get through the course in 5 days, you could do that too. If you want to get through the course in a week, you could do that. You don't need a whole lot of time to get through the course. 30 minutes is good. And then after that, honestly, 30 minutes to an hour every day to find products, do product research, and like talk to suppliers and order products and learn Amazon and set everything else up. You'll be all set to go. And the thing with the course is it's not set up in a way where you have to like take the whole course then start. You should take the course and do what's being told and then kind of work hand in hand with what you're trying to do. How likely is your product to sell if there's competition with more positive reviews? Your product is probably still going to sell. So yeah, of course, your product's definitely still going to sell. I've like when I was doing when I was selling Cavo was going up against universal remotes that have hundreds and hundreds of reviews, and Cavo was still selling. One of my one of my students has a water bottle company, like a metal water bottle flask company, and um, it's doing really well. She's got 2 reviews already. So just because somebody else has a lot of reviews doesn't necessarily mean that people aren't going to buy it. There's so many different buyers, so many different people trying to buy. So you're definitely still going to see some sales, even if your competition has more reviews. And the thing is that in the course as well, I teach you how to get reviews, totally legitimate ways, how to build up your reviews in a faster way, so that you can compete. And I also go over those metrics to show you, well, how do you, excuse me, how do you build up your reviews? How do you get good reviews? How do you keep customers happy? So all that is in there as well. It's not difficult at all to sell your product, regardless of how many reviews your competition has. And I actually go over metrics in terms of like, looking at reviews beforehand to determine if you should even compete in that space. Because even if you're going to get sales when one of your competitors has like 10,000 reviews, that's something that's very hard to do. If you want to get to the top spot, it's going to be very difficult. So you don't want to compete with somebody that has that many reviews. But I obviously go into more detail in the course. But at the end of the day, it's actually kind of cool if someone has a lot of reviews and you try to compete against them, because that means there's a lot of people going to that page and a lot of people that are interested in that product. Stu said $596.40. Is that the price that's coming up for the course, Stu? I think. Are you in the UK? Yeah, of course. You're in the UK. Okay, so I think in the UK there's a VAT added to it, value added tax. So they actually add that on to my products. That's not something I can actually have control over, unfortunately. So that's a value added tax that the UK is charging you. How do I get a refund if it doesn't work? Right? Yeah, kind of them. They want to gouge you. If you buy into the course, if you buy the course and you take it and you don't like it, you just send me an email within 30 days and say, hey, you know what, it's not working out. I don't feel like I'm learning or whatever it is. I mean, honestly, I'm not going to ask you what it is. If it's within 30 days, you just send me an email. You'll have direct access to me and you'll get a full refund on the course. I'm not even going to bother in terms of anything like that. If you take the course, you can reach out to me, and if you have questions, I'll help you out as much as I can, and you'll be on the Facebook page. But yeah, if there's any issues, you don't have to worry about that. Yeah, of course. To set up an Amazon store, you need an LLC, right? Is that covered in the master class? Yeah, so I go over everything. To set up a store, you don't need an LLC. You just need to you could be a sole proprietor, and you could just set up your own store under your own name. I mean, the business name will be something else. You don't need an LLC to set up a store. I honestly don't worry about, excuse me, I don't actually set up, I don't set up an LLC until I've actually broken $10,000 in sales. I'm not saying that you should do that. Don't take that as legal advice. But in the beginning, the first couple months when I was testing products, I didn't worry about setting up an LLC. And you don't have to. You could be a sole proprietor on Amazon and just open an account and start selling just like that. Everybody that sells on Amazon isn't a sole proprietor. When you find a winning product and you make a brand and you file for trademark and you do everything you need to do, that's when you go through and you can actually, file the legal paperwork. But to start selling on Amazon, you don't need that at all. No. I'm interested, but at the moment I don't have much money. Will there be another sale? Okay, cool. Yeah, no worries, Ashley. Will there be another sale? There's not going to be another sale. I'm going to keep it at this price for a little bit, but then after some time, I'd say about probably a week, the webinar's replay is going to be up. Everything's going to be there, and it'll probably go up after that. So no, I don't do sales, because if somebody bought the course earlier at this, if you buy, everyone that buys the course right now at this price, if I discount it later, that's not fair to everybody who pays for it today, right? So if I sell the course for $497 and then 3 months from now I sell it for $297, that's not fair to everyone that bought today. Is this the same course from a few months ago? No, so I had a shorter webinar that I was selling for a little bit back in November and December, I think. This is not the same one. This is a brand new course. It's much longer. That webinar was about an hour long. This course is 12 hours of footage. Way more content, way more everything in this one that goes literally from start to finish, teaching you how to be successful on Amazon. I don't have the other course anymore. The other one was taken down. So the other one was done as a partnership with somebody else, and it was a short webinar kind of covering the basics. So that one's not around anymore. If somebody bought the original, would they get access to the new one? If you bought the original, you would get the price like the previous buyers. No, yeah. If you bought the original, if you bought the original webinar, I sent an email out to everybody who bought the original webinar with a coupon code that reduced the cost of this one based on what you paid for the last one. So if that was you, then no, you don't have to worry about that. You wouldn't get free access to this one because it's a much different course. But the old one was $50. This one's $497. So you would get this one for $447. So if you did buy the old one, you should have gotten an email that was offering you a discount to this course. based on what you paid for the last one. I try to keep it very fair. I won't discount something below what anybody else paid for it. So Stu said Brexit plus free trade deals, greater prices in the UK from the US. Yeah, I mean there's some disparity. So sometimes you could sell overseas and make more money. What if you come up with another course after this one? I'm not going to come out with another course for Amazon after this one. This is my Amazon course, and this is what I'm going to have, and I'm going to just keep adding more content. As I mentioned before, I'm going to add more content to this course. I'm not going to release another one after this on Amazon. This course took 2.5 months to make of probably working 40 to 50 hours a week. So I'm not going to release another Amazon course. So you don't have to worry about that. Somebody said, yo, this course is incredible. How many consultations are you offering with the course? Right now, it's going to be one. So the first 10 people to buy it from this webinar will get a one-on-one call for about an hour. And I'll go and I'll sit there and go through with them and go through everything. That's a very detailed one. That's like all the detailed questions you have, everything you want to know. And that's something that you benefit more from once you actually like put in the work and you start looking at products and you do product research. If you get the one-on-one consulting call, you should, take advantage of that call once you've put in the work. If you do it right off the bat, you're going to ask me a bunch of questions that you can get answered if you watch the course content. So it's one of those things where you should actually put in the work, do a bunch of the work, and then come to me and ask high-level questions. So it's an hour-long, excuse me, it's an hour-long consulting call that'll probably go a little bit over. I don't really keep a timer on that. Every time I do a consulting call, it usually goes over. I'm letting you guys know right now because, I'm just keeping it real with everybody. So that's, sorry. Yeah. So you'll do that. But if you're on there as well, you have access to me on Facebook. So that's basically it. The difference there is like on Facebook, I'll give you an answer. I'll look at what you're talking about. I'll help you out. With a one-on-one consulting call, you're getting literally my attention straight for an hour, just you and me on a call, and you'll have full access to everything that you need to know. So I'll help you out there. I found this Packing Monopoly set on Alibaba shop on every corner. Did you buy it? And if you have any other questions, guys, keep it coming. Just let me know if you guys have any other questions. I'm more than happy to help you out. I don't know who said my course is incredible, but that's cool. I appreciate that. If you took the course and you're here watching the webinar, that's pretty nice of you. You've already sold it, put more orders in. Nice, cool. All right, guys, I'm gonna get ready to wind down a little bit. We're gonna shut this down. If you have questions, feel free to email me. You have the web address right there, the amzmasterclass.com. I'm going to leave this price up for a little bit. You guys are more than welcome to come take a look, come back and watch the webinar to see what if there's anything else you guys missed. Feel free to reach out to me on Twitter. I'm going to be on here for a couple more minutes. So if you have any questions, get them in right now. I'm more than happy to answer any of the questions you guys have. I want you guys to get everything figured out and get any questions you guys have. Sorry. Let me know right now. More than happy to help you guys out. I want to make sure everyone's feeling comfortable, everyone's having a good time, everyone knows what's going on. Thanks for your time. No worries, Stu. Thank you for coming in. Give you guys about 2 more minutes. I don't know how many people are still on here, but you have questions, let me know. Does the course cover private labeling? Yeah, that's what this course is. It's a full-scale course on private labeling and selling on Amazon. So I'm teaching you how to build, I teach you guys how to build a brand. It's not like drop shipping. It's your actual, so it's like your name is, right? It's like Anthony's brand, right? So whatever you want to do, how to make a logo, how to put the logo on there, what your brand should be about. It's all private labeling, white labeling, whatever you want to do. It's not drop shipping. It teaches you how to make your own brand to sell on Amazon. And then, everything you need to know in terms of like how to design it, how to design packaging, how to design everything. Have you got Sarah's link? So yeah, Anthony, it's a private labeling course. It teaches you everything you need to build your own brand. So you're not selling cheap Chinese products that are coming from the factory. You're building your own brand. You're designing the packaging. You're putting in whatever you want to make it uniquely yours. This is like, it's like Nike, right? Like it's your Nike. If you want to make shoes, you can make shoes. So that's what That's what it teaches you. I'm not teaching you how to sell crap. I'm teaching you how to make your own product, how to make your own brand. Um, because that's the long-term success. Drop shipping isn't a long-term success. I don't want to buy generic products. Most people don't want to buy generic products. They want to buy quality. They want to buy something nice. That's my whole thing, like how you feel when you open an Apple product. That's how I want people to feel when they open your products. That's what I'm teaching you guys how to do. Stu said, have you got Sarah's link? Sarah. Yeah, actually, what I'll do is I'll tag Sarah. If you guys follow me on Twitter, anytime, Anthony. Stu, if you follow me on Twitter, tweet me right now, and I'll actually link you to. I'll tag Sarah in the post, and she'll be more than happy to tell you herself. She's a real person, I promise you. But yeah, I'll tag Sarah. Kimberly Barnes. I don't know, Kimberly, are you still in here? She asked a question. I don't know if she's still in here from the webinar. Kimberly took my course as well. She really enjoyed it. She's doing really well. She's got her first set of products coming in pretty soon. I don't know if she's still here, but yeah, tweet me and I'll tag Sarah and you can talk to Sarah if you have any questions. She's more than happy. I'll also tag Farshad. He had a testimonial in here that I wasn't able to show you guys, unfortunately, but he's really excited as well. He's on track to do $10,000 in his, I think, second or third month. So he's learned quite a bit. So yeah, that's on there as well. Joe, I'm glad you got the course. I'll see you on the other side. Is there no beginning to this man's talents? Millennial Stoic took it. Yeah, Millennial Stoic is in there as well. He really likes the course. Ed Lattimore took the course as well. He's in the course right now. Ed loves it. Ed's pretty excited to launch his product. He's doing some really cool stuff with it. So yeah, I'll make a list actually of people who've taken the course, who enjoy it, who like it. So if you guys are on Twitter, you're more than happy to come ask those people questions. Everyone who's taken it so far really enjoys it. So you guys are already going to enjoy it. Honestly, I gave that 30-day guarantee because I know that nobody's going to take it. It's there if you need it, but it's more to make you feel safe, because once you get in the course, you're going to learn things and you're going to understand things on such a high level that you'll really enjoy it. You won't really want a refund. So that'll be in there. You'll have you'll honestly enjoy the course quite a bit. I have no doubt in my mind that you guys will love the course if you decide to sign up, right? You guys are here right now, and you're going to look back in about a year and be very happy that you move forward with the course itself. Ed Lattimore is a G. Yeah, Ed's great. You can tweet Ed if you want. Shoot him a tweet and say, hey, what do you think of Assad's course? Would you recommend it? Last question, just kind of $497 price will be valid for the next week. Yeah, I'd say probably for I don't know if it'd be for exactly a week. I'm gonna leave it up for a little while. So I'm not exactly sure how long I'll leave it up. I'd say probably for at least a couple days. So yeah, it'll be good for at least a couple days, depending on how depending on the demand from the webinar. So yeah, I'd say you're good for at least a week, Ashley. I'll leave it up for a week. How about that? Excellent endorsement. Yeah, it was great. I honestly was really happy that Ed loved the course. Is a deal only for the first 10? The one-on-one strategy call is only for the first 10 people. I haven't actually looked to see how many people got it. That might actually already be gone. So yeah, the one-on-one strategy call is only for the first 10 people. Cool. I'm glad, actually. Make it happen. Yeah. The first 10 people get the one-on-one strategy call. The course itself stays at $497 for everybody else. Everybody else gets everything else. So the strategy call is the only thing that the first 10 people get. Everybody else gets the 6-figure launch, the marketing secrets blueprint, the Facebook group, product research workbook, supplier contacts, everything else. So you guys will get everything. You guys get everything else in there. I actually don't really know how many people are still here. So, all right, everybody, it's about 30 seconds left. I don't know what the BNP is. Yeah, of course, Ashley, anytime. I don't know what Tommy's talking about right now. All right, everybody, we're coming up to about 2 hours. If you have any final questions, get them in right now. I'll give you guys about a minute to ask me any more questions, and then we're going to close off and shut this down and move on with our Wednesday. So if you guys have any other questions, jump in there right now. Chat's still open for a little bit. I'm going to close it in about 45 seconds. I'll shoot you an email. If you signed up for the course, if you went through and paid for it and everything like that, I'm going to take a look right after the webinar, and I will shoot an email to the 10 people who got it. So you get an email from me, and then we can schedule the call whenever you guys want. If you did get it, I would highly recommend, I'll write this in the email too, highly recommend you go through the course first, start putting in the work, and then you kind of you delay the call as much as you can. You don't want to do the call right up front. Yeah, because then you're going to ask me a bunch of questions. I've had that happen before where somebody did a call with me. I offered them a free call. Then they'd watch the course videos and they said, oh, I wasted my call because I asked you a bunch of stuff that was already in the course. So go through the course, watch everything you need, and you can ask me everything you need for the call later. Then, what if I do want the one-on-one, but you're not one of the winners? If you guys want to schedule a one-on-one call with me separately, you can reach out to me on Twitter, or if you're join the group, if you move forward with the course right now, you'll be in the Facebook group. You can send me a private message. You can send me an email, growthfoundry@gmail.com, and just say, hey, I want to schedule a one-on-one call. I'll look through and see if you were in the first 10. If you weren't, I'll let you know what my rates are, and we can schedule a call. So if you still want to do it, you're more than happy to do it. It's not that I don't do those calls. They just cost a lot of money. More than happy to get on the call with you guys and help you out if you want to pay for it. All right. Now, 30 seconds. If you guys have any other questions, let me know. Get the questions in there. I will do my best to answer them. But we're coming to the end now. I know everybody's got a lot going on. Everybody wants to move on with their day. I accept PayPal. I don't have crypto set up yet, unfortunately. So if you want to do PayPal, you're more than welcome to do PayPal. There should be an option on the page to do PayPal through Teachable. So if you want to do PayPal, you can do that. If there's not an option for that, it's only doing credit card for you. Okay, so if it's not letting you do PayPal on Teachable, then what you could do is actually send me a message, send me a DM on Twitter, and I'll give you my PayPal, and then you can shoot that over, and then I'll give you account access or course access, because I guess Teachable might not have that. So I'll see if I can activate it, but if Teachable doesn't have it, I don't think they offer PayPal. Unfortunately, I haven't set up crypto yet. A lot of places still don't take crypto, but feel free to shoot me a message if you want to do PayPal. I think if that might get rid of that for you, then more than happy to do that. Send me a private message. You can shoot me PayPal funds, and I will grant you access to the course via PayPal. So we'll be all set there. All right, guys. Thank you so much for coming to the webinar. I will leave the broadcast up for a little bit. You should get an email after this. If you guys have any questions, feel free to email me. I will do my best to answer them. Thank you so much for coming out. Have a wonderful day.